Okay, so I'm Whitney, and I'm a yogi. I wasn't always a yogi, though, so my yogi journey started 4 years ago at Yoga Seed, and then I wandered other places, and I always find myself back home at Yoga Seed. I was raised in my household to be a caretaker, but I wasn't taught to take care of myself. There were a lot of people around me growing up that needed to be cared for. So as an adult, I started my career as a social worker, and I started working in child welfare as an investigator. So I spent several years in Sac County investigating child abuse for 14 to 16 hours a day, and last November 17th, I was at work. There was a non-event. I was just at work. And suddenly I sort of dropped to my knees and I had a major cognitive disruption. So I wasn't sure where I was. I couldn't tell time. And I didn't know how to get home. So I thought that I could drive myself home. And I tried to do that, and I did finally get home, but I ended up in a different town first, and I had to call a friend and help me to get home. Once I got home, I called the doctor. This is a new symptom for me. I had never had anything like this before. It was a series of symptoms, and I called my doctor, and she said, well, we can't get you into, the receptionist said, you can't get you into like the psychiatry of Kaiser for 2 weeks. And I'm sorry that you're having really dark thoughts and you've never had these before, and I'm sorry that you feel scared and unsafe being with yourself, and but we can see you in 2 weeks. So I thought, well, maybe I have low blood sugar. So I went to the refrigerator. I was home alone. I went to the refrigerator and I opened the refrigerator, and I just couldn't fathom how to get something from the fridge into my body. So I'm staring, just sort of, I don't know if you've ever had this experience. I surely hadn't. And I was just sort of staring in the fridge going, whoa, this is really bizarre. I was like observing this, like, how am I going to make a sandwich? So I then just walked to my bedroom and went to bed. I felt really confused at what was going on, and I thought, I'll take a nap, and when I wake up, I'll fix the low blood sugar, and then I'll go back to work tomorrow because I have children in ICU, I have children in homes that are unsafe, I have a lot of things happening that I need to finish. So I slept all day. It was like 4 o'clock. I slept until the next morning, and I woke up and I made a talk therapy appointment and called into work and slept that whole day. And then the next day, I slept through the day, and then I started having this internal dialogue, like hating my mind for not working. My cognitive function was just barely sort of not coming back and not understanding what I was supposed to do about it, and wasn't getting anywhere really yet calling medical providers. So I was still trying to figure out if I had low blood sugar. I figured it's worth a shot. And so like day 4 or 5 of this not being able to tell time, really disoriented now because I've been in bed this whole time. I woke up and I was angry. I was ashamed that I wasn't at work, and I was embarrassed, and I was angry that my mind wasn't working and I couldn't function how I did the first 28 years of my life. So I woke up and I thought, well, my body's working. At least my body's working, so if I can try to get myself somewhere or get outside or something, I can start there and until I can get into maybe a doctor's appointment. So I made an appointment with a friend to go for a walk, and it was hard. I didn't know what to say. I was having a hard time communicating. We went for a walk and I came home and I thought, okay, that's good. I slept the rest of the day, or at least stayed in bed. And I woke up the next morning with the most brightest idea, and I need to get to a yoga class now. I need to get my mat and I need to find a yoga class. So I grabbed the Yelp to find the closest studio because I surely couldn't drive myself to Yoga Seed. And I got in my car with my mat and I laid in child's pose for 75 minutes. And I released just a little fraction of shame into my mat, just a little bit more humble to like where I was in that moment. And then I went back and I went to bed. And then at the noon class, I got up again. I was in the same yoga clothes, dragged myself over there, and I did the noon class, and then I went back for the 6 o'clock class. And I did that for a week and a half until I could get into an outpatient treatment program. But I didn't stop going to yoga, and there was an intuition that I had, and there's a knowing that I now have that if I could get my body into these positions or start working my body in these ways, which all of these people who can speak so much more eloquently about that can tell you, that maybe it'll start sending a message to my mind that there is safety and there is something else coming, and also just to be gentle with what was happening and just to be sort of like soft with myself and like end that or change that internal voice about not only was I feeling like my mind is failing me, but now I'm failing everyone around me, that I've been, being so helpful all of this time. But I wasn't taking care of myself. So I didn't stop going to yoga. I finished an outpatient treatment. I looked for a different job, got a different job, and delved way, way deeper into yoga. And so this summer, I signed up for yoga teacher training so I could share that with some of my friends and family. Truly, it was my sister that I thought, oh, if I could teach you a couple things. And I was kind of teaching her a couple things, and I thought, oh, I could really take care of people if I took care of me, but if I also learned these cool things through yoga teacher training. So just really want to thank you for hearing my story, and also I just feel really honored to share this space with everybody who's been up here, but also the audience and some of the people who are in my yoga teacher training. So thank you so much.